And Zulma Gonzalez, this mic is all yours, and let me make you a co-host.
Hey, it's a wonderful day to be. Thankful Thursday to each and every only one of us, only one of us, only one of us, Dove, only one of us, Carrie, only one of us, Regis, only one of us, Sharon, only one of us, Lynn, only one of us, Lori, only one of us, Aaron, only one of me, only one of us, Zulma, and everyone in the room. Hey, hi. Today is a magnificent day. I am celebrating. I'll tell you in a minute what that is. Um, yeah, I'll tell you in a minute what that is. So we're going to be all over the place today because I've been all over the place. I was finding different quotes like, oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. Oh, I want that. And I figure we'll have a lot for this to discuss because, we've got an hour and a half today. Um, so, okay, let us do what we do. Start from the very beginning. Dove wrote that donuts are holy. Yes, they are not self-centered. Yes, 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 yes. Um, Wait a minute, that's not what I want. Nope, 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 nope. Unshare. Stop, stop, stop. Let's get the first screen up here. Let me make sure I have what I have up here, what I want up here. Mm, 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 mm. It keeps going to the same. All right, stop that. Stop that. Let's go right here. Right there. There we go. There we go. And move this and this and this. Um, all right. Okay. And we begin, as we always do. Me and a little bit of confusion, and that's okay. Because if I wasn't confused, I'd be perfect. Hey, look at who it is. All right. That wasn't so. Oh no, you don't see what I see. All right. A Course in Miracles meets Science of Mind. Today is Thursday, June 13th, 2024, and a very special day to me. Before I tell you why, I've got a couple of screens in front of me. See this double screen thing? It's fun and it's confusing because I'm thinking that you're seeing what I'm seeing and you are not. And that's okay. That's okay. All right. Um, let's see. Let me move this up here. A reminder that the kingdom of heaven is within you, and whoever shall know himself shall find it. That's an Egyptian proverb. We are remembering to mind our mind. We have a new quote added to this. Dr. Ernest Holmes, as we always do, to learn how to think is to learn how to live. To learn how to think is to learn how to live. We can't live our best. We can't be our best. We can't, well, no, we already are our best. We can't realize and recognize that we are our best if we're not thinking right mindedly, if we're not thinking with the mind of God. To learn how to think is to learn how to live. A reminder from the course that this is a course in mind training, that all learning involves attention and study at some level. I could put this in slideshow mode so that you can see it better. And if I do that, our new quote today is: the mental pattern must always precede the material form. That wasn't supposed to come first. To learn how to think is to learn how to live. This is a course in mind training. All learning involves attention and study at some level. An untrained mind can accomplish nothing. We can walk around all day long, reading and claim we're studying, but if we're not practicing, we have to train our minds. An untrained, this is a course in mind training. An untrained mind can accomplish nothing. From Dr. Holmes, thoughts and things are but two ends of the same proposition. Since it is impossible to stop thinking, we cannot stop creating. Our choice is whether we shall create constructively or if we'll make things destructively. and Dr. Atkinson, William Walker Atkinson, who has a couple of pseudonyms, um, and one is one sounds like it's Indian, and he has a couple of them. Thurmont, somebody, I don't know why he goes under all these names since they know who it is. But he says that the mental pattern must always precede the material form. And I'll give you more information about Atkinson later, but not today. And finally, from the course, to back all that up, is that all thinking produces form at some level. I am going to stop the share. No, I'm going to stop the. Nope, that was it. That was fine. Um, from Ernest Holmes, a beautiful, I thought, a beautiful affirmation, which goes very much in line with some of the lessons from the workbook. The freedom of God is my freedom. The power of God is my power. The presence of God is in me. The mind of God is my mind. The strength of God is my strength. The joy of God is my joy. And that is from Ernest Holmes. And the two in particular, the mind of God is my mind, goes right in line with God is the mind with which I think. And the strength of God is my strength, is God is the strength in which I trust. Yeah, major stuff, major stuff. So before I get into any lessons, I want to um, give a shout out, a birthday shout out to Lovable. 1 year today, with 1 year today as adopted. Wait a minute, let's see where he is. Um, I'll have to figure out how to show him to you. I have to figure out the screen thing. I don't know what's going on with the screens. Do you see Lovable? Somebody give me a thumbs up if they see Lovable. Somebody, thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you, Lori. Oh, is that a hand or a thumb? I'll take it. I'll take it. If it's a hand, by all means, come on in if you have something to say. If it's a
We
thumb,
can
if it
see
was
him.
okay, thank you. So this is my baby boy. 1 year ago today, 1 year ago today, this was what walked up to me and was actually walking behind people, just sniffing behind people, just looking for attention from somebody, just sniffing behind people. And I saw him and I stopped, and he came and he walked in front of me, and he put his paw on my thigh, and he looked in my eyes. He was soaking, he was wet. Somebody had poured water on him. He was wet, and put his paw on my thigh. I burst into tears, and straight to the SPCA we went. And this is kind of like how you'll find him most of the time. He's always up under something. He does not like his face showing when he is asleep. He covers he even as we speak, he's doing it now. He covers up. I took this picture just a few hours ago, this last one. So I want to wish a happy adoption day, birthday, if you will. Regis says that he's gone from rags to riches, and I don't know about that, but he has been a joy in my life, an absolute joy in my life. Okay. Um, so happy birthday to Lovable. He's gonna get his nails trimmed today. He's gonna get his teeth brushed, and they'll put some really smell good on him, which I already have. I just bathed him a couple days ago, and we'll go to the dog park, and I'm just gonna give him his day. It's his day. I'm gonna give it to him, and let him enjoy it. He tried to play with a really big dog. He tried to play with a really big dog yesterday. He wanted to be chased. And first time I heard him actually go up to the dog, he's talking like, "Rawr," he's growling. It was a play growl. Come on, let's play. And the dog, I understand, has bad knees. So this big, beautiful thing named Shadow was not chasing anybody. Nobody. And Lobo just kept trying to play with the dog. But anyway, we ought to learn to be that way. We ought to learn to be willing to play with the stranger, walk up to the stranger and say hello, to see the stranger as someone new, because everyone is new today. Every moment is a new one. So every time we meet anyone, as the course teaches, we are meeting a stranger. We never know. We don't know. You don't know who I was yesterday. I don't even remember who I was yesterday. And I don't know what I'm going to say a minute from now. Exactly. I have no idea what I'm going to say a minute from now. So even I am meeting a stranger. And if we would remember that, then we'd have no reason to judge, no place to judge, because everything is new. Everything is new. So, all right. I have a few things here that I wanted to look at. I'm trying to decide where I'm going with this. Um, this was something I came up with a couple of weeks ago, actually, and it just never got around to sharing. And I'm only focusing primarily on the highlights and a couple of things here. Appearances deceive, but can be changed. We're going to talk about change a little bit today. Appearances deceive, but can be changed. Let's see, there's stuff in the chat. Um, Thank you, Lori. Yes, he is cute. And his name is lovable. And everybody thinks so. Everybody, I got that from Regis. Everybody loves Regis. Everyone loves Zulma. Everyone loves lovable. They just, try to, they want to pet him without permission. He doesn't care for that. Um, Uh, I'm just reading the chat. I'm going back to the donuts. Yes, donuts are holy, and not self-centered. All right. So appearances deceive, but can be changed because reality is changeless. This is from the course. Reality doesn't deceive at all. And if you fail to look beyond appearances, you are deceived. And basically that comes down to what I just said about strangers. We walk up on someone that we saw yesterday who, said or did something that we let bother us because we were looking at seeing them as a body, thinking that we were a body. And today we see them again and we let the feelings from yesterday creep in. But they're not who they were yesterday any more than you are who you were yesterday. And this is why the course keeps reminding us to be willing to let the past go because it is gone. It's one of my favorite quotes in the course. Let the past go because it is gone. Let go of what's already gone. How does it make sense to hold on to, what's not there and acting as if it is? For everything you see will change, the course continues, and yet you thought it real before, and now you think it real again. And even what I just said about that person, before they walked up, before you saw them again today, you weren't giving them any thought. You were, floating along about with whatever, and then you saw them, and there it is again. And now you think it real again. Reality is thus reduced to form and capable of change. Your thoughts change that quickly. Your feelings change that quickly. You're seeing this person differently that quickly, like you saw them, seeing them like you saw them yesterday, and that's not who they are at all today. Reality is changeless, and it's in sentence 2. It's again in sentence 6. Reality is changeless. It is this that makes it real and keeps it separate from all appearances. And remember, in the Bible, 727 times it came to pass. 727 times. That's a lot. It came to pass. Nothing comes to stay. It all comes to pass. Every moment, which is why the Course reminds us that every instant can be a holy instant if we want it to be. The second that we not stop letting our mind wander about whatever, stop looking at appearances, stop seeing that person, that situation, hearing those words, or the second we stop doing that and go in and remember that what God is what we are, and what God is what they are. The second we do that, we have a holy instant, because that's when the minds join. That is how and when we join. So reality is changeless. It is this that makes it real and keeps it separate from all appearances. It must transcend all form to be itself. Reality must transcend all form to be itself. That's huge. That's huge. All form. Because you know that grievance that you're holding? You know that one. Come on. You know which one it is? That one. Reality must transcend that to be itself. Because the grievance that you're holding is not even there. If you can't show it to me, you know what I say about holding grudges? Let me see it. If you can't show it to me, then where you are is somewhere stuck in the past, worrying about the future, and not enjoying the present moment, not experiencing the holy instant. And the course continues, you do not have to believe what is not true unless you choose to do so. You don't have to believe what's not true. You don't have to hold on to those old thoughts. You don't have to hold on to that grievance. You don't have to hold on to anything because there's nothing to hold on to. And you have the choice to do that. We have the choice, unless you choose to do so. And all that can literally disappear in the twinkling of an eye because it is merely a misperception. What is seen in dreams, and life is but a dream. We're row your boat. What is seen in dreams seems to be very real. It's not. It's not. I had another slide with that, and I'm only going to read the highlighted part of it. And that is that God created only the eternal, and everything you see is perishable. Therefore, there must be another world that you do not see. And this quote right here at the bottom that reads that to deny, I like that, to deny what is can only seem to be fearful. And that's the truth. We're not afraid of what is. We're afraid of what we think that is. In other words, we are afraid only of our thoughts. Oh my God. You know how hard that hit me? That hit me hard the other day. I don't know if I said it or I heard it. I don't remember now, but it hit me hard. We're not afraid of anything out there because we're making this out there. And my out there is different from your out there, even if we're sitting in the same space. But my out there is different from your out there. And I might be fearful in this space, and you might be quite comfortable. Because it's not the out there that I'm fearing. It's my thoughts. It's my thoughts about the out there that I'm fearing. It's my thoughts about what I think you think about me, that you think I'm not this enough, that you think I'm not that enough, or even if I'm just thinking it myself, I think I'm not this enough, and I think I'm not that enough, which is why I think you think it anyway. Caught up in all these thoughts. And how can you not be enough? You're only what you are. Individualized expression of God. Individualized expression of God. And I can't compare myself to anything, to anyone, because no one is exactly like me anyway, just like these two thumbprints. They are different. My thumbprints are different on the same body. It's amazing. Everybody's thumbprints are different. Both on either both thumbprints are different on everyone, and no two thumbprints are alike. No two, not the identical twins. They're really not identical when it comes to that. To deny what is can only seem to be fearful. Fear cannot be real without a cause. And God is the only cause. We're running around being afraid of absolutely nothing out there except our thoughts. The boogeyman, the Cujo, we're the dark. We're afraid of what's not there. We think there's something there and it's not. because we're running around here analyzing every situation, and we know that the ego analyzes. And when we are guarding our thoughts, we recognize that the Holy Spirit accepts. That's all I got on fear. Now I'm going all over the place. I want to know where everybody is. It's kind of quiet in here. It's kind of quiet. Uh, so let's find some other quotes from the course. We're talking about change today to some degree. To change your mind, let me put this in slideshow mode. Even though I did not do the pretties with it and make each one move and all that. Nope, not doing that today. Knowledge cannot be changed. The world of perception, on the other hand, is a world of time and of change. Knowledge is total. When you know, you don't question. When you just know, you just don't question. That can't be changed. It's like, it's the end of, I've gone past the perception. I've gone past the thinking. I've gone past the wondering. I've gone past the hoping. I've gone past the believing. Now I know. That can't be changed. The problem comes, though, when I think I know something and I want to argue it to no end, that I know, I'm right, you're wrong. Here we go. Separation. If I really believe in separation, then I'm really not knowing the truth that there is no separation. I'm not knowing. Dr. Holmes says to desert the truth in the hour of need is not to know the truth. Let's say, like the course talks about, we don't need our learning when things are kumbaya. We need our learning most when things aren't going well. You have to see Lovable. I'll show it to you later. Anyway, so knowledge cannot be changed. The world of perception is a world of time and is a world of change. Perception always changes, always changes, always changes. And that always comes to pass too. It comes to pass, it doesn't come to stay, because one minute we're thinking this, the next minute we're thinking something else. And oh my God, how many times have we absolutely thought that we were right? Oh, I knew that. And only to find out, nope. Like me with the word niece. I keep wanting to spell the word niece, N-E-I, but it's N-I-E, I think. I'm not, whichever way it is, see that. But I'll write it and I just know I'm spelling it right this time. And then, Word tells me, she puts a red underline under, like, what's happening here? I did it again. Oh, Magoo, you done it again. Remember that from the cartoons? If you're old enough to remember that. Okay, so whatever is true is eternal and cannot be changed, cannot change or be changed. Whatever is true is eternal and cannot change or be changed. Spirit is therefore unalterable because it is already perfect. Spirit, that's you, me, in a state of grace forever. Our reality, what do we say about reality? Is changeless. Our reality is only spirit. So reality is changeless. Spirit is changeless. Therefore, you, me, we are in a state of grace forever. We are always in a state of grace. We are always being recognized and understood and loved and held and protected and guided by that which created us. Always, always. It's in us, around us, through us, behind us. It is us. You must change your mind, not your behavior. And this is a matter of willingness. You do not need guidance except at the mind level. We are so out of control, even when we think we're in control. And a lot of us, we've got it pretty good. Get through full days and start out thankful and thankful throughout the day and continue to be thankful, because it's written, in all things give thanks. Not for all things, but in all things, in whatever situation we're in, give thanks, because the course reminds us that it's all for our good anyway. Everything. Past, present, to come. It's all for our good. Um, Lynn put the time right niece, but it's IE. And that's what I said. I think I put the E before the I, and it's IE. And interestingly enough, the remember the old one, I before E, except after C, as in sounding as like way, no, as in sounding as A, like in neighbor and way. Mm, I don't know where I learned that. I don't think it was in elementary school. I don't think it was. I before E, except after C. But see, in this case, the C comes after the IE. And in my mind, I'm somewhere in there, I must be doing that I before E except after C thing, and I've made the after before. Anyway, anyway. Um, and Karen reminds me that she does the same thing with the word East. I'm glad I'm not the only one, Karen. Thank you for helping me feel normal. Ah, you must change your mind, not your behavior. And this is a matter of willingness. You don't need guidance except at the mind level. Correction belongs only at the level where change is possible. And this is important because people tend to think that um they can if I keep doing something differently, if I keep doing something differently, then my mind will change. And although they they talk about with exercise and things, if you do it, eventually become a habit. It may become a habit, but it doesn't mean it's something that you want to do. We're talking about a change of mind, a willingness to think differently, a willingness to appreciate everything, the exercise, a willingness to appreciate it all. Change does not mean anything at the symptom level. That's what I'm just using exercise as the example, where it cannot work. Yeah, and then you figure, oh, I've been exercising, I've been doing this for the past month, and nothing is happening. Oh, it's been such a drudgery doing this. Oh God, I hate doing this. And then you can't figure out why nothing is changing because you're not changing at the mind level, which is where real change has to come. And that applies to people with addictions. I remember my ex-husband, he would bring me articles about not smoking, and I would read them with a cigarette. Well, reading the article while I'm smoking a cigarette. Because I had decided at that point that I wasn't ready to stop. I didn't want to stop. There was nothing he could say, nothing he could do. Um, so handing me articles meant absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. All right. So change does not mean anything at the symptom level where it cannot work. Now I've got different topics going here, and I know that already. So if it seems disjointed, oh well. Uh that's okay. So today I'm introducing, oh no, I may be reintroducing Raymond Charles Barker, who was a student of Ernest Holmes, and under Raymond Charles Barker came Louise Hay. I'm learning all this great stuff. She was a student of Barker's. So it's interesting how you start seeing all these people who were connected, how they were connected and interrelated. The oneness is there even when we don't know it's there. He's talking about any wrong decision you have ever made will become unimportant when your attention has shifted from it to a creative reason for living right here and now. Because now is the only aspect of time that has any meaning. Now is all there is. And we keep want to go back and what happened yesterday and oh my God, what's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen later on today? Oh man, I can't believe that so and so said or did this thing yesterday. Oh, I can't believe. Oh man, did you hear about um the person who was almost hit by a car yesterday? Oh, she could have been killed. Let's call that nonsense. All the could have beens. These are wrong decisions. First of all, to even be thinking along those lines is setting something up in my own mind, giving myself reasons to fear. Any wrong decision you have ever made will become unimportant when your attention has shifted from it to a creative reason for living right here, right now. Remember, we create to create. To create is to think like God. to make is otherwise. That's working in a destructive. Well, it's all like God. It's all God. It's just not the we're just choosing the unhappy dream, choosing the nightmare at that time. But it's all God. Cannot forget that. It's all God. This present universe is the kingdom of heaven. I am that universe, by the way. So are you. And all we do is to clear away our misconception of it until we see it as it really is. Back to that. Reality is changeless. Reality is changeless. All we do is clear away our misconception of it. The Course says removing the blocks, those obstacles that are preventing us from seeing love truly. The decision to let go of that which has completed its course, because nothing survives its purpose. The Course teaches us that nothing survives its purpose. The decision to let go of that which has completed its course, and that could be a person who's making their physical transition. That can be, my house got robbed twice, and the things that were taken, it had completed its course. These things have completed their course. Nothing survives its purpose. It's here as long as it's supposed to be, and then it goes, because all things that we can see, hear, smell, taste, and touch come to pass. They do not come to stay. The decision to let go of that which has completed its course in your experience is even more important than the decision to welcome new ideas. And here's why. You cannot walk forward by looking backward. New wine cannot be put into old bottles, for the Bible states that the old bottles will break. You intuitively know what should depart from your life. I had to grab hold of that particular quote because I'm purging stuff slowly. I stopped beating myself up for trying to do things, trying to do, a large area too fast. I can't do that. I can't. That's not how I'm made. I'm not programmed to do it that way. I'm programmed to do a little bit here, a little bit there, and take this out for, you put instead of breaking up the box that something came in immediately and put it in the recycle bin, I may wait till I have 2 or 3 boxes and then do it. It's just to do things differently. I intuitively know what should depart from my life. I just need to do it at my own pace and stop beating myself up because I'm not doing it the way the pros say it should be done. That's my big mistake. From Ernest Holmes and the Course. I'm going to put these in color. Oh, I did. You got blue, you got the blue, and you got the purple. Or Ernest Holmes said that the mind is a magnet, and we attract that with which we identify the self. And when I saw that, it made me think of this passage from the Course. You will believe that you are part of where you think you are. And that explains even I was just talking about me and household stuff. I would perceive myself, oh, Zulma, you're a mess. Oh, Zulma, you are messy. Zulma, you are disorganized. Zulma, you, and doing that just kept me doing more and more of that, being more disorganized, being more messy. But the fact is, I take care of basic stuff. I wear clothes that match, and I put on everything I'm supposed to when I'm supposed to. So there's definitely a sense of order when I, make these slides, just like I just said. Oh, I was supposed to put these in color. And I said, wait, there's the purple in there, and there's the blue in there. The purple being the Science of Mind part, the blue being A Course in Miracles. Remember, when I first started doing these slides, I said that if it's in purple, it's Science of Mind, or at least Ernest Holmes. If it's blue, then is the Course. Well, I decided to make a slide that has that. And since both those books have that kind of a goldish tint, one has with the writing of one is the cover of the other book. I said, this is the way I think. But there's some method to my madness. There's method to No, this is not madness. There's method to me. We all have the ability to do things, as the Bible says, decently and in order. We all have the ability to do things in order. And reminding myself of that truth is helping me to live more in that truth. You will believe that you are a part of where you think you are. That is because you surround yourself with the environment you want. Now, when I first read that, and the 10th time I read it, and the 50th time I read it, I didn't like it. I still don't like it. Saying that this is the environment that I want, a disorder. I want this. And then the question is why? And I'm using it now as a, they say there's no testimony without a test. We call it a belief in action. Um, to desert the truth, as Ernest Holmes said, to desert the truth in the hour of need is not to know the truth. And this is an area of my life that I have been talking about, and talking about, and writing about, and thinking about wanting to quote conquer.
Done something to.
But the fact is that what I resist persists, and that what I focus on expands. So if I'm focusing on it's the way I'm focusing, the way I've been focusing. Ernest Holmes continues that in order to get the most out of life, we must learn consciously to change many of our habitual thought patterns. It's not saying change your behavior. The court, and and the course, is in agreement with, it's not saying to change our behavior. It's not because thought. I mean, rather, change comes. It's only at the level of thought, because that's where it's all. That's where it all is. That's the motor. That's the mechanism. The main mechanism for our behavior. What I do comes from what I think. Saith the course. So change your mind and think with God. Now, I'm reading that, and if it's all God, and it's all love, it's all God, and it's all love, then am I not thinking with God even when I think I'm not thinking with God? Because to believe that I can be separate from God is an illusion. Now that I've written that, I'm looking at that. It's saying change my mind to think with God's mind. Change my mind to realize that I am one with it. Changing my mind to realize that I am not separate and apart from it, because that's causing me grief. And Dr. Ernest said that our old thought patterns cling to us with great tenacity. They hold on. I know what I'm supposed. What's in the Bible says something about, I know the good I ought to do, but I don't do that, and what I'm not supposed to do, that I do, and that sort of thing. I can keep holding on. I can say I'm not going to buy another book. You know how many times I've said I'm not going to buy another book, and then turn right around and went to Amazon or to another book or to another place looking for a book. How many books I have that have not yet been read, barely opened. And I'm talking about buying another book. I'm on a mission, though. I'm on a book reading mission. I'm reading right now the collected essays of Raymond Charles Barker. I think his writings are remarkable. And as much as I appreciate the writings of Ernest Holmes, I find Raymond Charles Barker's writings much clearer and easier to read. All right. So our old thought patterns cling to us with great tenacity. But being thought patterns, they can be reversed. I can change my thinking. I can do that. I don't have to hold on to the thinking. Oh, here's a slide. I was putting slides together. Let me stop share for a moment. Well, no, you know what? The heck with it. We're going to go where it is. I'm waiting for somebody to come and join me. I love this quote by Emmett Fox. I do want to change that. I want to fix that. I do like this quote by Emmett Fox. He says, look where you're going, because you will inevitably go where you're looking. I just found that this morning. I thought, oh, I love this. That was like 4:30, 3:30, 4:30 this morning. I was looking for um, where I was going. I said, but I remember saying that um, I'm going to attempt to do a mishmash now and again. And today's one of those days I'm mishmashing. I'm mishmashing. Uh, Look where you are going because you will inevitably go where you are looking. I love that. I absolutely love that. It made me smile. It made me chuckle out loud. Um, it made me chuckle out loud. I like that. All right, let's cuten this up because I want to hold that. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that for something else later. So I have to make sure I remember that I what I did with it. Look at where you are going because you will inevitably go where you are looking. And that goes back to you can't move forward looking backwards. You can't move forward looking backwards. You can't do that. It's not possible to do that. Um, you can't go for, you've heard the one, you can't drive forward, looking in the rear view mirror. You can't move forward looking back. So if I keep telling myself about all the mistakes I've made and how I was just saying earlier about how many times I've said I wanted to this, I want to do that, I want to get this organized, or I want to, get rid of this, and my actions aren't supporting it. A tree doesn't fall far from its the tree doesn't fall. Rather, the what is it? The apple. The apple that comes from the tree is an apple. The apple that comes from an apple tree is an apple. No, what comes from an apple tree is an apple. If I'm not producing apples, then I'm not an apple. Then it's not an apple tree. If I can't get an orange from an apple tree, and I can't get an apple from an orange tree. I can't do that. I'm saying this, but I'm doing that. There's a quote that says, um, "I can't see what you're doing. Speaks so loudly, I can't hear what you're saying." Something like that. And it's to the point now. I'm talking to myself. You know, I started talking to my integrity. I started talking to my integrity. I'll keep my word to you, but I'm not keeping it to myself. Well, is that am I treating myself right in doing that? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Um, and I have been more conscious. I have been guarding my thoughts. I have been setting the new habit patterns in my mind, seeing it the way I want to see it, remembering that I don't have to take myself through a whole bunch of changes and do a whole lot of anything to just just experience the peace in my mind, and the rest of me follows. The rest of me follows. This My body's a communication device, and it will follow along the path that my mind takes it. And gradually and slowly, things are coming along. Things are coming along. And Dr. Ernest continues, life externalizes at the level of our thoughts. You know what? I could animate these. I could play if we want to play. I could do that. Um, that life externalizes at the level of our thoughts. That life is a mirror and will reflect back to the thinker what he thinks into it. Um, and that reminds me of projection makes perception. Projection makes perception. That we There we go. See, I'm loving this PowerPoint. This is all stuff that I learned not to this extent, not so very long ago. And I'll have a few more quotes here later. But projection makes perception. In the preface, it talks about how the world we see is what we're making, and then we're putting that out there. Life is a mirror and will reflect back to the thinker what he thinks into it, which goes back to what I said. And I'm using myself as the example today, me and my stuff, talking about doing it, thinking about doing it, even journaling about doing it. Doesn't matter if I don't choose to do it. And the more I talk about it and write about it and all that and don't do it, the more frustrated I'm becoming. And I'm getting older. you know, this energy level is a bit different. And um and I'm working 3 days a week. And I'm here 2 days a week. So I'm using these things as excuses, but I'm not the only one who, does this and does that, and has different activities and still manages to manage their domestic situation in a way that's comfortable for them. I'm working on that and I'm comfortably doing that now. So, and that's why I'm talking about it out loud. Because I'm reinforcing. Life is a mirror and will reflect back to me what I think into it. If I think everything is great and wonderful, guess what? It is. If I think everything is awful and miserable, guess what? It is. The oh my God, I can't believe, making myself. It's what I'm thinking. It's all about my thoughts. It is always all about my thoughts. This is mind training. This is mind training. Guarding our thoughts. That's what this is all about. Quote by Emmett Fox. Oh, I didn't want that one there. Wait. Go back. Let's come out of this. I am not as organized. I knew I wasn't. Um, I knew I wasn't. So today's that day. I've been working on this morning. Things come to me. The course talks about not planning, and that's fine and good. But when you're preparing to do it, when you're doing a presentation, well, you know what? I'm not even going to say that, because if I had to grab a book and we read from the book and talk about it as we go along, I never know if anyone's going to participate as far as conversating or not. I never know. I'm just here. I have to consider that maybe people will conversate with me, maybe they won't. So I just, however it comes, it comes. That's where I am today. Other times, like, oh, looks like a nice train of no train today. Different cars of different trains today. Emmett Fox said that God is bigger than any problem. We think, what's that expression? Don't tell God how big your problems are. Tell your problems how big God is. And the Course tells us to look at it and then realize that there is no problem. Let me look at the problem so it can be solved. And then let me look at it and realize it's already been solved. Already, the answers are already there. So the first time I say I can't, oops, I have forgotten that the problem's been solved. I have put a block up. I have forgotten how magnificent I am, how magnanimous I am, how wonderful, how wonderful I am. I have forgotten all that. The second I say I can't do this, I don't know how others can do it, but I can't. Oh, how many times I've said that. I don't know how others can do it, but I can't. I see what's going on here. God is bigger than any problem. God in you is greater than any difficulty you have to meet. God cares for you more than it is possible for any human being to realize. We don't realize just how much that love is all there is. And when we say all there is, it's all there is. And that's but see, we can't see past the war, and we can't see past the shooting, and we can't see past the rape, and we We talk about that, how horrible all of that is. God cares more than it's possible for any one of us to realize. It's always all love. What can you not accept? Workbook lesson 135, paragraph 18. What can you not accept? If you knew, not thought. Remember, knowledge, knowledge is total. Knowledge can't be changed. If you knew that all things are gently planned by one whose only purpose is good. If you knew, that's and that just I just realized that that word is in you have it's about knowing, not about wondering, oh, I knew it until this happened. Okay, then you didn't know. Karen, go ahead.
Hey, Zulma. And if I'm not thinking thoughts of love, and if I think I'm thinking anything other than love, then I am not thinking with God. That is that is it. And so I just notice that. That's all I can do is notice it. And it's usually, if I'm not thinking with God, I'm usually judging, or I'm usually, you know, just not in a positive mood or whatever. So it's just something to be aware of and to notice. So because you were saying that about the thoughts and not thinking with God. And I just love where he says that, because if I'm not thinking with God, I'm not thinking at all. I'm not thinking at all. So thank you.
Hey, Michaela. Thank you, Karen. Mickey, glad you're here. Did I see Carrie? Is that Carrie? I did see Carrie. Yeah, the lighthouse. The Carrie is the lighthouse. Um, um, yeah, we and to think thoughts of separation. When I'm thinking thoughts of separation, then I think I'm not thinking with God. And I'm saying I think here because we can't really not think with God because God is omnipresent. God is all there is. So I can't really not think with God, but I can think that I'm not thinking with God because I'm thinking separation. I'm thinking that, whatever I'm thinking is not good, or it's not holy, or it's not spiritual, or it's not those types of things. No, I think, and then I feel guilty. Here we go. There has to be guilt somewhere. All right, I'm going to continue. You worship God by really putting your trust in him instead of in outer conditions. Here we go. Or in fear, or in depression, or in seeming dangers. Seeming, we know about that word. Anything that seems to be something, it's not that. I think it is, and that's why I'm upset. I'm upset because I'm thinking something that's not there, and so forth. You worship God by recognizing his presence everywhere, everywhere, in every situation, no matter what it is, no matter where, no matter what's on the news, no matter, none of that, no matter, what part of the world it's in. We're looking at bodies, and as long as we're seeing bodies, we're going to see suffering. We're going to think suffering. We're going to think suffering. Hmm. Of course, teaches that what God doesn't will can't be. You can't be out of you can't be out of the will of God. You cannot be out of the will of God because God's will and my will are one. One. That's a heck of a thing when you look at the big picture that way. That's a heck of a thing. Okay. You worship God by recognizing his presence everywhere in all people and conditions that you meet. Again, from the Bible, in all things give thanks. From the course, only appreciation is an appropriate response to your brother and everything. Only appreciation. Gratitude is due for the extensions of love and for the calls for love. That's a paraphrase of how it says in the Course. Only appreciation. Worship God by recognizing his presence everywhere in all people and conditions that you meet, and by praying regularly. Guard your thoughts. Guard your thoughts. Guard your thoughts. That's how you do it. Remembering what I am, that giving thanks for what I am, giving thanks for what my brother, my sister is, giving thanks for life, giving thanks for my breath, giving thanks in every situation that I've been given the opportunity to have that situation, because all things are lessons that God would have me learn. All things. You pray well when you pray with joy. Because otherwise, praying in fear does no good, does nothing. Praying in fear is contradictory to it. It's contradictory. Because I'm in a place of that's not real, attempting to pray for what I want to be real, but I'm in a place that's not real at the time. Oh, that can get confusing. And then wonder, how come God's not answering my prayer? I heard that earlier. Somebody was saying, wondering why God is not answering my prayer. But God's will and my will are one. I saw a sign once in a shoe shop years and years ago. Remember the famous shoe repair shops? Find one of them around. And it said, if you want your prayers answered, get off your knees and hustle. That is, I have to take part. I can, like as I was saying, I can sit here and pray about it all day long. I can write about it and talk about it and all that all day long. But if I am given the opportunity to make something happen, to make what I want to be, to have it, to be able to see that, I have to participate. I can't sit back, talk about play a number, talk about don't play a number and think I'm going to hit the lottery. Huh? I don't play a number, but did you hear about the one person that won the 102? Well, if he takes the cash, it'll come out to $72 million. One person, one. And it couldn't be me because I didn't play. So you pray well when you pray with joy. You pray well when you pray in truth. You pray well when you're praying with the knowledge that your prayer is going to be answered. That's what that's about, praying well. He also said that when you are afraid of something, you are worshiping. I'm talking about Emmett Fox. You are worshiping it. When you are afraid of something, you are worshiping it. In other words, I'm paying attention to that which I'm afraid of. I am giving my attention. I am turning away from the all and putting my focus strictly on that one thing, forgetting that I am not separate, that thing is not what we call specialness. That's what we call special. I'm making that thing special. I'm setting it apart. I'm idolizing it. I'm seeking outside myself and making that so important. Whatever you fear, Emmett Fox says, you bow down to and give it power. Wow. Wow. And he says that to be afraid is to have more faith in evil than in God. Now that means we're talking dualism, we're talking two-ness. And there's no two-ness, there's only oneness. We're talking two-ness. There's evil, there's the ego. Oh, a conversation about the ego the other day at the study group that I facilitate on Fridays. No, it's on Mondays now. I forget. It used to be Fridays, so I work on Fridays now, so now it's Monday. But I facilitate a study group in person on Mondays, Monday afternoon. And when the homeowner opened the door, our hostess, when she opened the door, she says, "We need you." I said, "What are you talking about?" She says, "We need you. We're having a conversation about the ego." I said, "But it's not real. What are you talking about?" I started that way, and it actually became the answer to all of that they were talking about. Somebody saying, "I need my ego," and somebody says, "No, you need to make the ego go away." That's one person, one another person, and they're going back and forth about this thing, and oh my goodness. I said, well, it's a thought system. You can't. We Both thought systems are in my mind, and I have a choice as to which one. I put one away when I'm utilizing the other, but it's there. I'm in a body. I'm in a body. I'm in this human form. So thoughts, why is the ego mentioned so much in the course? I mean, as far into it, I mean, you could be in lesson 30, I mean, chapter 31, and it's still talking about the ego. You can be in the higher lessons in the 300s, and it's still mentioning the ego. So it's recognizing it's insidious, as they said in 12-step programs. It's insidious, it's cunning, it's baffling. We never know when it sneaks up. It's the course says um be vigilant, because we think when we just when we think we've reached the holiest place of holies, there it is. We're judging something else as not being holy enough. We're judging something as not being this enough or that enough, not like me, surely, because I'm right and it's not. Ego, hard at work. There it is. Write it in your face. In your face. That's not supposed to have Emmett Fox's name there. So let's just delete it in this case. Let's just delete it. I appreciate you all being here, helping me do this stuff. Being here while somebody said something the other day about learning something. Okay, something is going on. It won't let me. So I have to see what is happening. I need to go home. I need to go into the editing section. I need to go into this selection pane. This is stuff I just learned, by the way, the other day. I can make that title page go away altogether by putting it at the bottom. It's under everything now. You got that? Whoever's learning. Anything you don't want to see, put it at the bottom.
I think you can just delete it.
What'd you say?
I said, I think you can just delete it.
Yeah, but at some point I am going to put a title to it, because if I title a slide, for example, this one before just says Emmett Fox. I'm going to go back to the next one. If I put if you can see this, when I put the cursor over on the where the slides are all there, it'll show me what that slide is. It says Emmett Fox there. This slide, it says Emmett Fox. This slide says Ernest Holmes. Slide number 41 says Ernest Holmes. So if I can have a title to it, but not show a title. But I will end up putting a title there. In this case, I have 3 quotes. One from Ernest Holmes, one from Norman Vincent Peale, and the other is from Emmett Fox. Ernest Holmes says, and this is the tag from course from a Science of Mind: change your thinking, change your life. What does he say? What did we say initially? That to learn how to think is to learn how to live. If you change your thinking, change the way you live, your life changes. Change the way you think, and your life changes. Everything changes. I will see it differently. Above all else, I want to see things differently. Because when I see things differently, then I will live differently. I will feel differently. I will act differently. And it's not about changing the behavior, but it's inevitable that when the thoughts change, the behavior, because remember, this is my communication device. How I communicate will change. It's not about changing the behavior. No. We read earlier that, that only at the thing, that the correction only comes at the level where it can be, anything can be done about it. So it's not about changing my behavior. However, my communication device is going to follow along with what my mind is doing, what my me as cause is doing, cause with a small c. So if I change the way I think, I'll change the way I live. If I change the way I think, I'll change the things I do. If I change the way I think, I'll have uh, different stories to report in terms of my activity here at home. And part of it, we never know what anything is for. We never know what anything is for. I told you I go to a home 3 days a week as a caregiver, and I'm actually doing some light housekeeping over there. Um, and I'm saying, all right, Zulma, wait. This you can easily do at home. So I came home and easily did that because I'm changing the way I think and continuing to guard my thoughts, to say, all right, don't, go do that again. Do that again. Do only this, the course teaches. Do only this. Don't talk about what you don't want. You don't want, oh, I don't want, I don't know. I don't want the refrigerator to get too full. No, what am I talking about? I want the refrigerator to have enough that I can see everything in it. That's what I want. Do only this, the course reminds us. And not only the course, it's everywhere. Do only this. Stephen Covey in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he says, begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind. This is how you reach the goal. In the course, it talks about means and ends. You say you want this, but you're not willing to do that. And it says, be willing to admit then that you're inconsistent. I love it. I love this course. I love this course. It slaps me, the words slap me in the face so often, and I have to sit back and say, wait, all right. So why is this making me say ouch? I have to look at it to undo it. I have to accept the atonement for myself. I have to be willing to make these changes for my, to change my thinking for myself, not to change how you think, but to change the way I think, so I can go from thinking and believing to knowing, ultimately to knowing, because that's where the peace of God actually resides. I want the peace of God. I want to rest in God. I want the peace of God. I want to rest in God. The peace of God is shining in me at this moment. The peace of God is shining in me now. And it's the thought that something else has to be done or said or had before that can happen is the block. Is the block. So Norman Vincent Peale was a protege of Ernest Holmes. So here it is. Ernest Holmes says, change your thinking, change your life. Norman Vincent Peale says, change your thoughts and you change your world. Same thing. Wayne Dyer has a book that has a title, something similar to that. I'm trying to put my eyes on it. I can't see it. But I have another book that says, end your story, begin your life. Same thing. End your story, which is change your thinking, which is change your thoughts. End your story, begin your life. Change your thinking, change your life. Change your thoughts and you change your world. And Emmett Fox writes that what you think upon grows. Whatever you allow to occupy your mind, you magnify in your life. And I've been talking about that all along as far as things here at home. The more I think about the stuff, the more stuff I accumulate. The more I think about, I'm not going to buy another book. The universe hears buy another book. It doesn't hear not, because the universe, God always says yes. Prayer is always answered. And everything is a prayer, whether we know it or not. Everything is a prayer. My life is a prayer because I live according to what I believe. That's my prayer. My prayer is I want this. And oftentimes that's not, you know, God's will be done. I want this. And I'm thinking about what can't be. No, I don't want. No. God says yes. What did you say something about another book? Okay, go to Amazon. You want another book? No. I don't want another book. Then why are you talking about another book, Zulma? Why? Why? What you think upon grows. Whatever you allow to occupy your mind, you magnify in your life. The Course teaches us that we see what we want to see. We make stuff up as we go along, and we make it really, really big. Some things we make really, really small. Then we're comparing the big from the small. Then we ask ourselves why we're even comparing. Then we ask ourselves, we take ourselves into the rabbit hole. Then we ask ourselves, why do we take ourselves into the rabbit hole? Then we get we get depressed because we're in the rabbit hole. I don't even know what the inside of a rabbit hole looks like. Never been in a rabbit hole. But why a rabbit hole? Why can't it be a gopher's hole or it's something else? I've never seen a rabbit hole. But we take ourselves through all of this. We let, as the Course teaches, our mind wander. Just go on over there somewhere. That's what I've been doing this morning. Just going with wherever, letting my mind go where it flows, just letting it go. And to the best of my ability, I'm attempting to keep it within the study of the Course and other mental sciences. I mean, except this rabbit hole story. I don't know anything about a rabbit hole, but we always call it going down a rabbit hole. And I'm going to have to find out where that expression came from because now that's running around in my head. But we do this with our thoughts. We don't realize how, I'm going to use the word creative, our thoughts are. Ernest Holmes says thoughts become things. Thoughts become things. The Course says that all thought produces form at some level. All thoughts, not just some, all thoughts produce form at some level. Lynn, I see your hand. Come on.
Yes, the bottom of the rabbit hole is where Wonderland is. And when Alice fell down the rabbit hole, that's when she went into the world of upside down and backwards, where you had to be crazy to be there. So when we say falling down the rabbit hole, it means falling into a world of illusion. Thank you for letting me share.
Rich?
Thank you for letting me know that I need to watch Alice in Wonderland because I've never seen it. This is my confession. I didn't watch Disney as a child. We had one television. And at the time that came on was also the time when Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. and the FBI came on. And that was Mommy's preferred TV show. So I didn't watch Disney. I have a lot of catching up to do. And I'm going to see if I can start with Alice in Wonderland. Thank you for that, Lynn. I had no idea. Absolutely had no idea. Appreciate that. Thank you. And there was I wouldn't, people would talk about, these Disney, well, in Disney where da 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 da, and I would just like kind of nod, like I knew what they were talking about because I was ashamed to admit that I never watched Disney. And as I think about that now, it's like we had one television, and Mommy she liked what she liked, and she probably didn't know that even Disney was even on. I don't know. It's one television. She knew that the FBI came on Channel 3. I'll never forget it. Channel 3 with Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. It's an interesting name, Zimbalist. And that's what we watched. But I used to be ashamed. And then the more I thought about it, if I tell, then I'm making mommy guilty that she wasn't a good mother. I mean, all this. Look at what we do. This is what we do to ourselves. We hurt our we hurt ourselves with our thoughts. And Karen writes that Alice in Wonderland would be a great movie for us to watch together. Gather. Oh, I would be willing to do that. How long is the movie? Oh, the Johnny Depp version. Okay, I don't know any version, so I'd have to uh I would have to find it. I would have to I would have to find it and see if it's on Netflix, because that's the only oh, that's not true. I have Showtime and I have Paramount. I just realized that I'm paying for that. That's I think Showtime comes with. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, um but yeah, that's a good idea. I'd be more than happy to uh to do that during, or if we can, because if these are we have found out that some copyrighted things we can't do. I was in a book study. We were reading this phenomenal history book, and for me to say that, it had to be phenomenal. It's called Black AF History, and it was facilitated by, it was a whole group of us that did it, not just people of color. In fact, the initiators were not people of color. And I'm reading this book, and I absolutely forgot why I brought that up. Oh, that there were some things that they attempted to put on the screen that wouldn't happen because of copyright. Some things you just can't do. So you can't always watch a movie, or you can't always watch certain things like that. And I tried it recently, as a matter of fact, trying to watch a movie with somebody on Zoom, and it would not let me do it because of their copyright laws. So we'd have to find out if that's something we can do. But I certainly would love it if we could. What you think upon grows, Emmett Fox says. Whatever you allow to occupy your mind, you magnify in your life. Whether the subject of your thought be good or bad, and I'm using these terms loosely, good and bad, because we know that it is all for our learning. All for our learning. Whatever name we call it, that's what we call it. But it's all for our learning. But any subject, or rather, whether the subject of your thought be good or bad, the law, that is the law of cause and effect, works and the condition grows. Any subject that you keep out of your mind tends to diminish in your life. And that makes sense. The Course is saying, above all else, I want to see things differently. We are given these 365 lessons to help train our minds to think differently, to see things differently, to learn to accept the atonement, to learn how to let things go, to learn how to let go of what's already gone. And the more we practice that, the more things go. We can, we stop telling those the so-called bad stories. We need them until we don't, and then when we don't, we need to let them go. And we let the universe, let God, let spirit, let life replace it with more of the good, the clean, the pure, the powerful, and the positive. Those words are from Zig Ziglar. The good, the clean, the pure, the powerful, and the positive. The more we push stuff out, the more new stuff can come in. But we can't do that as long as we keep holding it and holding it and holding it. Kerry suggests, and I agree, that we watch it on our own and then talk about it. Yeah, we do that too in this study group. we watch one movie a month and then we discuss it. So that would be a good idea. I still wish we could do Collateral Beauty. I still would love, love, love for people to watch Collateral Beauty so we can talk about that. I've even made up a questionnaire or brought up some points from that movie that I would love to be able to discuss. Collateral Beauty. Um, and I'll go find Alice in Wonderland while that's happening. So Emmett Fox continues. Any subject that you keep out of your mind tends to diminish in your life because what you do not use atrophies. And that makes sense. If I stop talking about, I was singing a song the other day. I was remembering a song, and I used to know all of the words of that song. And I'm good. I'm pretty good with songs. I'm pretty good with lyrics. I'm pretty darn good with lyrics. I know the lyrics to a whole lot of songs. And I know I'm not the only one. I know you too, Lynn. But and maybe others here. I don't know. I just know that Lynn is. But I know the lyrics to a whole lot of songs. And I'm listening to this song, and I started singing it and I had to stop. Like, no, I wasn't listening to it. I was recalling the song. And I'm singing and I had to stop, and I'm saying, and something, something, something. And I heard myself think, gosh, you used to know all the words of this song. But if I'm not singing the song, I'm not quote quote practicing the song, then why would I know it? Why would I? Oh, you know what this dog is? He I put something real cute on him. And he's a magician because he took it off. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he did it, but he took it off. I had this cute little thing. I'll show it to you shortly. Um, he takes his clothes off. Uh, but anyway, but I'd forgotten. So he says here again, what you do not use atrophies. The more you think of grievances, the more such trials you will continue to receive. Now, that's an interesting thought because it's not just that you'll receive the grievances from that person or situation that you're in grievance about, that you're grieving. It's not only that, but more stuff will come because remember that according to the science, we're all energy. We're all vibrating at this frequency. And just like a dog, and I was just reading that, just like a dog can tell if you're afraid of it, and and a dog's energy around you won't be cool because yours isn't. Likewise, I'm vibrating at this frequency, and all this energy that I'm putting out, this grieving energy, comes back in the form of somebody in a store saying something, talking to me in a way that I don't like, or something occurring in such a way that is causing me even more grief. Because what you focus on expands. Where energy goes. What was that? What was that quote? By Ernest Holmes. Where energy, what is it? Where the mind goes, energy flows. Where the mind goes, energy flows. So if I'm holding on, I got this grievance thing going on in here, I'm actually projecting it out there, and I'm getting more of it. And then I'm wondering why life is awful, life is miserable. I don't understand. I can't stand. See, that kind of stuff keeps you in that place. The more you think of grievances, the more such trials you will continue to receive. On the other hand, the more you think of the good fortune you have had, the more good fortune will come to you. The Course teaches that we see what we want to see. So if I'm choosing to live in grief, which apparently I must want to do at the time I'm doing it, with the fact that it's causing me strain and all that, but I must want to because that's what I'm doing. The more I'm getting more of what I want, even though I say I don't want it, and then blaming everything out there for it. Oh my God. because in that case, I am the victim of the world I see, and I'm not responsible for what I'm feeling, or I'm not responsible for what I'm thinking, or I'm not responsible for what's happening, because I can blame you. And if I can blame you, then I don't have to be responsible, and I don't have to do anything. I have to expect and wait for you to do. That's what workbook lesson 71 says. It might be 70, 71, 72. One of those three. They're wonderful together. I think that's 72. Anyway, it's now I want to know. But it's a cop out. It's an absolute cop out. Looking for ways to make someone else responsible for what's happening to me. It is 71. In workbook lesson 71, which reads, the ego's plan for salvation centers around holding grievances. It maintains that if someone else spoke or acted differently, if some external circumstance or event were changed, you would be saved. Thus, the source of salvation is constantly perceived as outside yourself. It's out there, the source of the problem. The problem is not me. It's never me. It's not my thoughts. It's what you're doing. It's what you're saying. It's how you're acting. Each grievance you hold is a declaration and an assertion in which you believe that says, if this were different, I would be saved. The change of mind necessary for salvation is thus demanded of everyone and everything except yourself. On the other hand, Emmett Fox says, the more you think of the good fortune you have had, the more good fortune will come to you. And I'm going to close with something that he wrote. Emmett Fox says, attention is the key to life. Whatever you really give your attention to, you become. Whatever you really concentrate upon will come into your life. We grow into the thing that fills our thoughts as inevitably as the stream merges into the ocean at last. And from the science of mind, to back that up, simply guard your thoughts. Remember, family, this is a course in mind training, and that all training requires study and attention at some level. And for the sake of, I said I was going to, there he is. There he is, resting comfortably, lovable, and happy birthday to my baby boy. With